Every edge in the options market starts with better information. The Nations Tools Hub gives you 18 professional grade tools, the same analytics institutional desks use, organized around one goal: finding better trade ideas and making the ideas you already have better. I'm Scott Nations, one of the founders here, so let's take the tour of our toolkit. VolDex term structure plots our VolDex measure of precisely at the money implied volatility across a variety of tenors from 7 days to 360 days, computed live. Upward sloping means calm, inverted means stress. And when the curve kinks, that's opportunity, a mispriced expiration, or a sign of an important catalyst you can trade against the rest of the curve. Skew deconstruction breaks the volatility skew into three clean pieces: level, slope, and curvature. So you see why skew moved and how it moved, not just that it moved. Slope maps to risk dex, our fear versus greed ratio. Curvature to TailDex. When one component is stretched, there's usually a trade on the other side. Nation's volatility cones show, where today's implied volatility sits against the full history of realized volatility across 7 horizons. Options tagged rich are candidates for selling premium. Cheap flags the moments to own optionality. It's the fastest sanity check before any options trade. And like all our index tools, can help you identify trade ideas, and that can make you a better trader. Dealer gamma estimates the options positioning of market makers and locates the gamma flip point, the price where their hedging switches from stabilizing the market to amplifying it. Above the flip, dips get bought. Below it, moves accelerate. Knowing which regime you're in changes how you trade. The nation's options window shows how the entire volatility surface has been repriced since the previous close, from deep puts to upside calls, with time decay stripped out, and it is available for all the asset classes and underlyings we cover. Options window provides the clearest picture of precisely how flows are driving particular portions of that option skew. If the only volatility index you look at crams all the options listed into a single number, then you'll never get this bit of critical information, which is only available to our subscribers. Variance risk premium measures the gap between what options implied was going to happen and what the market actually delivered. A rich premium means option sellers were overpaid in the past. That was an edge for premium sellers. A negative premium says owning optionality was profitable. Variance risk premium is no guarantee of what will happen in the future, but the current percentile rank tells you how unusual today's setup is. It's available on all the asset classes and underlyings we cover. Event volatility isolation splits implied volatility into everyday market noise and the jump priced in for known events: Fed days, the jobs report, CPI, earnings, and many others. Subscribers get to pick the underlying and which events they want to isolate, just one or two or all of them. If the market is charging too much for options, or too little for an event, that can help you identify a profitable trade, but you first have to know exactly what the market is pricing in for each event. This is critical information for equities in particular, which are driven by earnings releases. Nations trading signals combine the live volatility indexes with classic technical indicators, relative strength index, MACD, moving averages, and others, and distill everything into a plain English trade illustration. Pick a symbol, pick your indicators, and get a clear read with a specific trade illustration based on those inputs. These ideas are illustrations, not recommendations, but they can help subscribers assimilate all the information into a sharper approach to their trading. Our alerts watch the market so you don't have to. Set an asset price or nation's index trigger on any underlying, choose email or text, and act the moment the market reaches an important level. Our interactive charts show the full history of every nation's index. Compare up to 3 indexes on one chart, overlay the asset history, moving average and Bollinger studies or other important indicators, and see exactly how today's readings compare with every cycle that came before. Now you're trading with data, not a hunch. Important metrics puts every number in context. Averages, medians, and percentile bands for every index on every underlying, lifetime and trailing year, recalculated nightly. Because a VolDex of 20 means nothing until you know whether that's high or low for the name. And when you want to build your own models, historical downloads hand you the complete daily archive, every index, every underlying, back as far as 2005 for our 30-day indexes on the S&P as ready-to-use CSV files. This information is available to subscribers at the everything level. The Vol Relative Value Screener ranks richness and cheapness across names, not just against one name's own history. VolDex, term slope, variance premium, and RiskDex in one sortable color-coded screen. It's a daily source of fresh trade ideas. Risk-neutral density shows the full probability distribution the options market is pricing for expiration. Want to know the odds the market puts on a 10% drop or a 5% rally? It's right there on the chart. The implied move calendar lists the straddle implied move for every expiration and flags the kinks that mark embedded events. See what the market charges for each week before you pick your expiration. Dealer Vanna and Charm extend the gamma map to second order flows, the positioning pressures that dominate around option expiration and important catalysts. When these flows line up, price drift becomes predictable enough to matter. With our tools, you have insight other traders lack. The strategy backtester turns an idea into evidence. State your entry, structure, and exit, then replay it across history for an equity curve, hit rate, and maximum drawdown. Trade the ideas that give you a real edge. Finally, the Vol targeted position sizer wraps it all together. A regime filter, an entry trigger, and a position size scaled to volatility, so every trade carries the same risk. Better ideas, sized correctly. 18 tools, 5 index families, one goal, helping you become a better trader. Every tool comes with its own educational content, and subscription plans start with ETF coverage and scale all the way to everything. 19 individual equities, full downloadable history, and daily trade ideas. Go to nationsindexes.com, pick your plan, and see what options know before the market does.